Hi! Here I am somewhere in Kofa.
Kofa? Yeah.
Kofa.
Yeah, Kofa adjacent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know Kofa, Kofa is a is it a wilderness refuge?
It's a wildlife refuge. Yeah,
Yes.
so all of this is protected. Like Palm Canyon, it's like 2 weeks a year, whereas where we're at right now is 2 weeks at a time. So it's a little bit different.
2 weeks at a
Once
time.
you get on the Federal Reserve property, it's 2 weeks a year only restricted.
Okay.
Right, and where we are right now, it's 2 weeks at a time, like most BLM places.
Okay, perfect.
Anyway.
Excellent. And this is Tim. And for those who are new to this, I am Adriana. And yes, I do have an accent. And I met you a year ago in Pahrump.
It's about right, yeah.
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 I was parking there and you came and you said,
We
hey, can I go?
yeah, we crashed your party.
You crashed my site. But that is the good thing about those who are thinking of becoming a nomad and are scared of trying. This is what happens. You meet other nomads, you become friends, and then you meet again somewhere.
You are always running into each other. Yeah?
You're always
Yeah, I can be 1,000 miles from here and still run into like a Safeway or a laundromat and see somebody I know. It's
correct.
The weirdest feeling.
It happens all the time, and it's okay. For those who are scared, don't tell me, oh, but you shouldn't be that sociable because you don't know if he's a serial killer. He might. I don't know.
I haven't told her yet. Yeah.
Yeah, so far he hasn't
our
tried.
little secret, yeah.
And last Wednesday, I promised you I was going to show you an amazing tool for nomads. I really envision this as a game changer.
Really?
I really
well, that's
do.
very kind of
you.
you.
I really do. No, I have been a nomad for almost 3 years, and I have used every tool there is out there to find nice places where to camp. Compendium, the dirt, you name it. I have tried them all. And it happens that you told me you were developing
Yeah. Yeah, and I gave you that sneak peek.
new
Right.
tool.
Right.
And yes, I saw it, what was it, 2 months ago or so?
Months ago, yeah.
Yeah. And I was fascinated. So I wanted to ask you some questions about this.
Fire away.
It is not an app.
No.
It's a website.
It is a website, yes.
So, for those who barely know how to open a laptop, what is the difference between an app and a website?
Okay.
Is there a difference?
Sure, yeah. I mean, a website is something that you can get to from your Mac, through your PC, just through a browser. So Firefox, Chrome, Opera, whatever. Safari, whatever you want. An app is just that. It's an application like anything else, but it is tailored for that specific device. So it would be an app, let's say, specifically for an Apple, you know, for the iOS, or specifically for Android or whatever. Doing an app, it's not that it was, you know, good or bad. It was just that I tried to do this with a budget that was about this big, which means that I had to do all the work myself.
We are going to talk about the budget, but
that's why I didn't do the app, though.
What I am getting from your explanation is that by being a website, more people have access to it, regardless of what device they manage.
Yeah, I mean, the trick is that for a website to be mobile friendly, it's what's called responsive. So that means that as the browser size gets smaller, the elements sort of change around so that it's friendly for that device. So, you know, you'll see something on the computer here in a bit that's going to look different on a tablet, and it's going to look different on a phone, right? Perfect. Depending on the size of the browser. Yeah.
And basically, we are going to be talking about his baby, something he created, and he's ready to deliver now, right? You're about to give the last push.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just real quick. So I've been on the road now for 5 years, and one thing kept happening to me, and that was no matter where I decided to go, it always seemed like I missed an opportunity for a place to camp. And I was using 5 directories. I'm using Campendium, which is probably my favorite free
Mine too.
campsites, which I love because it's like sort of like the OG camping directory, and really the only one that's really nomad driven, right? I mean, that was somebody's passion project. You can tell. It's a bit outdated now, but I
like
still
that definition. Yes.
I still very much adore that site. And then you've got the Dirt, iOverlander, and Free Roam. So you really have like 5, right?
Yeah.
The nomads use. I mean, they all stays. Some people use, but for the most part, it's 5. So what would happen is I'd go like Campendium, which I said is my favorite. I'd go find a campsite. And I go, okay, well, there's not enough reviews. Well, let me go open up another one. And then I'm trying to match up. Are they talking about the same
and
one?
sometimes the last review is from 2 years ago.
It certainly could
and
be.
you go like, is it still available?
But my journey was always the same. So I would like try to figure out, okay, are they talking about the same thing? And then I would try like, well, I can't use all 5 in my, because that would just take a whole day of trying to figure this stuff out. So I'd like pick 3 directories. And inevitably what would happen is that like I'd forget to check Free Roam, for example, or I'd forget to check iOverlander. And the spot that I really wanted to be at was on that site, right?
Yeah.
Or I might dismiss a site because I didn't see the user feedback, but it was actually a great site because all the feedback is on somebody else's site.
Yes.
So while each site has its own sort of inventory, for lack of a better term, I found it difficult to be able to see all of that stuff.
And you're always double crossing. I mean, double checking. What if it's not here? Oh, so it's a lot of work.
It is. Well, then I'd finally go, oh, what about internet signal? And this one doesn't say anything, but this one does. So I was trying to figure, and then the other thing that I would do is I'd have to pull it up on a map, right? And I would always change it from the regular road map to the satellite view so I could get an idea of what the camp looked like. And then what I would do is I go, okay, where's the closest grocery store? Where's the closest laundromat?
Oh my gosh, so much work.
It really was. And so what I tried to do was, one of these days I'm going to try to build my own solution where it sort of replicates the way that I think, which might be a bad thing. I don't know. but that was at least the motivation for wanting to do it. So what I decided to do was back in May, I decided I'm just going to start this project, right? So I spent about 4 months getting the data together, and then roughly another 3.5, 4 months of development, picking the mapping system. And
it is really your
building
baby. It's almost 9 months.
Yeah. And it's currently, as far as I know, the only nomad-driven directory. And that really shouldn't make a difference, but think about this for a second. Think about, okay, we're in COFA right now.
Yes.
So as later stages of this project, if people find it useful, we'll keep building on it. But imagine if we're sitting here and on the map, you could also see events in the area.
Yes.
Right? And so you could say, oh, Deborah Dickinson's having a book signing over in Quartzsite.
Oh my gosh,
right?
That's excellent.
Right? Or what if you offered a service? What if you were a mobile mechanic? Right?
Yes.
And you could post your services on there, and you could go, oh, there's a mobile mechanic near me.
Oh,
or a dog groomer, or somebody to cut my hair, or I'm looking for people to look at the stars and take pictures at night, or whatever it is. Because the reality is that, especially now, there are, I think it was Statisa did a survey, some research, and found that there are 3.1 million van lifers now. So
that is
it's
a little
crazy.
less than the population of my country.
Yeah. Now
it's a whole country we are talking about of people moving around.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people.
If you figure that 2/3 of those people are out in public lands, and let's say the other third are in metro areas.
Yes.
And I know that's a big assumption, but not everybody's on public lands. If you make that assumption, then we're about the size of Chicago together, or larger than Phoenix, Arizona, as a group. But we have no infrastructure between it. So I thought there was a chance that this project might help bring us together a little bit. So that's sort
amazing. Because basically, let me try to understand, because these guys, what I consider one of those huge brains, and I am like 1, 2, and together they are like 3. And I get there.
I'm working on the whole 3 thing, yeah.
I get there eventually. But I am thinking of community here, right? Something where everybody contributes for the good of everybody. And that is
Well, what about
fascinating.
things like caravan management, right? You want to put together a caravan, right? And you want to let people know, hey, we're going to be in this particular area. Is there room to add another person? What's the focus of the caravan? Is it women only? Is it you know, people that want to do metal detecting, whatever the deal is? Now, well, presumably, again, if people find interest in it, but I see promise in regard to bringing all of those people together. And also keep in mind that in 2020, that number was 2 million people, not 3.1 million people.
So it almost duplicated.
We're growing, and all you have to do is take a look at, you know, a number of different factors that are around us. And it's no wonder why people are going, yeah, I think I can do this.
And I have seen new nomads recently just being fascinated because they parked at a rest area along the road, and they are like, yay, I'm free. And I am thinking, with a little bit more experience, I am thinking, oh my gosh, you're so happy and you're just at a rest stop.
Yeah, you're still in Walmart somewhere, yeah.
Exactly.
You haven't even seen the rest of the country, yeah.
And maybe you don't know how to get a little further away,
Right.
where you have your privacy and where you get to enjoy, like we are doing here. I mean, the saguaros and the ocotillos and our dogs run free, that kind of thing. So it's a completely different world, and it will come to them curated. No, how do you say it? Curated.
Yeah, curated, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
By other nomads that are more experienced and contribute their nomadic point of view.
Yeah, you know, no, absolutely. I mean, well, first of all, the site's called mynomaddirectory.com. So
Yes.
I'm
going to link.
I had other names for it, but I kept referring it to people. They go, "What's this project you're working on?" I go, "Oh, you mean my Nomad directory?" And so I kept saying that. I was like, "Well, maybe I should just call it that." Right?
I like it. My
Yeah.
nomad directory. It's so easy to remember. Yes, I am so proud of being able to present this, because
She was like the fourth person I told.
yes. But this is the thing. I don't know any face behind Compendium. I don't know any face behind the dirt. And I know you.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and you have a YouTube channel that is not active right now, but is there.
Yeah, it's it's called Tim Untethered on YouTube, which is also my TikTok handle too.
There you go.
I'm not active on YouTube anymore, although I've got videos up there that I busted my butt on, from videography and editing and writing.
Excellent videos, so very well done.
Yeah.
So
Now I just stick
them
a
out.
camera in front of my face on TikTok and just there's like zero production quality at all.
Which is okay, but those are the useful tools you can use, because you can go to his videos and see all the things he went through with his van. I mean, all the
The breakdowns. Oh gosh, yeah.
he suffered so much, and
We're fine now.
as you can see, he lives in a school bus now, and this is your office, your home, everything. So you can see other nomads doing things like that with excellent quality videos. But yes, this is just to give you an idea. This man is not a person that a tech savvy person that sits behind a computer and just designs something. He's an actual nomad, like all of us, and he has had his experience with a van. Now he's in a school bus, but he's out there and he knows the state of the road to get to that campsite, where the actual places are.
Yeah, so I mean, well, two things.
That
One,
comes out of the reviews, probably.
there
right?
were times, because I do digital marketing, and there were times that I needed a logo or I needed some WordPress work done, and I wanted to give that work to a fellow nomad, but I didn't know, where are they?
Yep.
Right? I mean, I can't follow everybody's channel and decipher and try to reverse engineer the resume and what they can do. So that was part of it. But yeah, I mean, there was such a wealth of information out there. And I certainly don't know it, but the community of these camping directories that we were just talking about, the dedication that those people have put into those directories is phenomenal. And I didn't want to create something that really stood alone necessarily, but I wanted for people to be able to go and see, oh, here's a campsite, here's the review on Campendium, here's the review on iOverlander, here's the one on Free Roam. So you can use it as a jumping off point to go there.
So I can connect
Yes.
through my, refresh my memory, what was the name? My
Nomad directory.
My Nomad directory. Yep. So I go there and I can check whatever all the other sites.
And as many as I could find, sure. So like you could find, you could be on, well, we'll show you in a second, but basically you'll see as part of the format that what I've tried to do is to break it down by gold star and silver star sites. So what those are sites that have been heavily reviewed across the internet. So we've got some confidence behind them versus somebody who just one guy who rated the site 5, right? It doesn't hold the same weight as 15 people rating the site.
We are never going to tell you where we are now because this is just for us.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. We're not going to share this one.
So yeah, I mean, it is, I'm not trying to cut anybody out. I don't want to take their information.
No.
But I did want to look out there. And so as you'll see in a bit, I know you're probably going, like, get to the point. We're 20 minutes into this, right? But
no, they are used to me. I mumble and mumble and mumble.
Bonus. But I wanted you to feel like that you had context, that you had a peripheral view as far as the other campsites. So you can use mine if you want to, because, I mean, keep in mind that the GPS coordinates on my site are different than any of the other sites. And so you have to think about, okay, well, if iOverlander and Campendium and Free Roam and freecampsites.net are reporting a site, that was probably reported by an individual if it's not a BLM reference site, right? They all have different I mean, where I am and where the front of the bus is 2 separate GPS addresses. So how do you determine that, right? And so I did a little bit of trigonometry to try to figure out, try to cluster those together. And I know I made mistakes, but it should still be helpful for most people to be able to go, okay, well, here's Hippie Hole, right? And then the other thing is, all the campsites are named differently oftentimes.
True.
Right? And so what I did is I cataloged those differences. So I can say, well, this is Forest Road 206, but here's the AKAs of what other people call it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose since everybody will be contributing, if something needs to change out of the experience of the community, that will be.
Well, we probably should just show because they're already there. We already mentioned they're probably going. They need to shut up.
And do you want to see it? Let's do that.
All right. So this is the site. All of the images are from my travels, so there's no stock images here. So for whatever that means. So my Nomad directory. The first thing you're going to do is look for something called the map, right? Or you can click down here. This is pretty basic stuff in that you're going to see this kind of interface all over, right? So it's nothing special. Let's just say, let's look for Flagstaff, right? And then you'll see, we'll just click here, and let's 25 miles of Flagstaff is fine. And so you'll see these pins here. Now, I'm going to have to admit, so you want to look for gold and silver pins, but sometimes they're hard to see. I have to work on that. But at a glance, you can, if you're looking at the gold sites, and of course, here are the silver sites, they're kind of gray, start with your golds, right? So you don't need to dig in deeper to do a whole bunch of evaluation. You just go straight for the gold, straight for the silver.
One here.
So let's take a look over here. And I probably have to move it down a little bit so you can see it. So this is called Wing Mountain Road, right? And again, as much as I can, other than the terrain map here, I'm using satellite maps. So just at a glance, you can look at it and see, well, I'm next to a Chevron station. That's not what I want, right?
But if you want trees, that one has trees.
Exactly, right? So it's rated 5 stars. Of course, it was a gold site. Here's the AKAs. It's also known as Forest Road 222 Dispersed, also known as Wing Mountain. Okay. And then you just click on more. And it will take you to the directory page for that. And again, you'll get a map, much like we had before. You can see somebody else is already camping down here.
Yep.
Okay. What it's rated, it's a gold site.
Gold.
Bookmarks, really simple, are your bookmarks. It's different than a favorite because a favorite is sort of like, I like this site, other people can see it. But what a bookmark does is just like, hey, I want to refer to this later. It's a private thing, right?
So it saves it just for you.
Yeah, so if you're doing research and you want to just bookmark 5 or 6 sites, go back to them later, nobody else is going to misconstrue that as, oh, it's a favorite site. Because I always use favorites like a bookmark, right?
Yes.
So,
but let me ask you about this. So what is this date and day and temperatures? Is that what is happening there?
that's what's happening there, right?
Whoa.
Right. So one thing, of course, is missing is the low temps, which I'll have to put in
Right.
there. But right now, you just get a snapshot, a 5-day snapshot usually, of the weather for that location.
So you don't have to go cross-referencing with
I'm trying to include my research madness in one place, and that's not uncommon for most of the directories to have some kind of visibility for the weather.
But
right?
there is a lot of useful information. It is dispersed, so we all know what that means.
Well, what I did do was, as we go down here, what I did was, when I was talking about those clusters, and let's say I know that iOverlander and free campsites and all of those are in the same cluster, I had AI go out to their user reviews and create the introduction as well as a pro-con list, right? Because one of the other things I did was I would get lost in all of the comments and reviews, and I had a hard time keeping them straight between sites. So this gives us an encapsulation, and what I told AI to do is, give priority to things like safety, right? Road conditions, internet connectivity. So if anybody was talking about those things, it would reflect that in the description.
You would capture those concepts and bring them here.
Yeah, so most of the sites, certainly all the gold and silvers, will have a section like this where it's an intro. All of this is derived from people commenting about the site. Okay, so you can see here like train noises from the nearby railroad.
So yes, you have the pros and the cons.
Exactly.
Can we read this one's just because I'm not sure if we can see
So like for pros, it's a free campsite, easy access off of I-40, good road condition, ample shade from ponderosa pine trees, close proximity to Flagstaff, suitable for various types of vehicles, peaceful and quiet stay, limited some wildlife sightings. And the cons would be train noises, limited amenities. Some sites may be littered with trash, can be busy and crowded, target practice activities, non-stop car and bike noises during the day and night.
And for those who don't care about those things, the pros may outweigh those cons. So
and it could be flipped too, because you could have somebody go, I don't have any, I don't have any internet connectivity. Well, that could be a good thing for some people to not have connectivity.
True.
So,
but if I read this, I already know that I will like it.
Or not like it, right.
I love ponderosa trees in my particular case, and I couldn't care less that there is no enough. What did it say?
Oh, limited amenities.
Limited amenities. I love dispersed camping, so I don't care about that. And noises anywhere you go usually, but out of this, I know I would like it. Well,
and again, because it's derived from users' experiences, it means more than just having a canned description of the site. I think, anyway. All right.
Fantastic.
So if we come down, this is just to tell you what county it's in, GPS coordinates, elevation. Basically I do a reverse geocode and I figure out this stuff here. So as you come down, you can see this is the community section. And we can see there are links now. So for that particular campsite, there is a review at free campsites, and there is one at the dirt.
Perfect.
Right? So you could click here, and you can see that review on free campsites. Right?
Perfect.
So instead of going to 2 and 3 and 4, you can go to 1, and then from there go to 2, 3, 4 different sites.
But that tells me Compendium doesn't have any reviews for that place.
That I know about.
That we know about.
Right, because I'm making assumptions based on my trigonometry it could, you know, be 10 feet outside the bounds that I set. So, but we do offer, I say we because me and Chaz run the site. So he's our...
Chaz is his dog.
Yeah. So we go over to our reviews. I include a baseline review that is a median review of all the sites that I put together in the cluster, but we can add our own, right? We can also add our own photographs.
Perfect.
And it will ask us things like, who's the cell carrier? What were the... So it's basically going to ask those questions again so that we can do something with them later, right?
Perfect.
Community notes... This is for people who want to sort of let other folks know, hey, there's garbage over here, or there's water over here, or while you stay here, don't forget to do this, take this hike, whatever it is.
So
context about the area that might be helpful while you're staying there. Okay. Recommended by is sort of the favoriting thing that I was talking about before. So, you know, you and I had talked one time about maybe creating a list for, you know, women travelers. These are the sites that you feel safe with, right? So in that case, what you would do is go through all of these sites and click, yeah, I want to recommend this site. And then this is the part that's broken at the moment that I need to fix, because this is, again, still very much in development. And that is that you will have, every member will have a profile, right? And on that profile, of the many things that it will show is what sites you recommended. So if somebody comes to you and says, Adriana, I'm, you know, what sites do you recommend? I'm a newbie. What are your favorite sites? Or, you know, the sites that you feel safest at? You can just say, well, here's my profile URL. Go look, right?
Perfect.
And then they can start their journey there. And then eventually you'll be able to, like, if you're in a schoolie or if you're somebody that's always online for work, you want to follow other people that are like that, you'll be able to do that and see where they camp.
Fantastic.
Right? And then the local resources is, again, remember I told you, it was like, where's the grocery stores? Where's the laundromats? So these searches will do that for you. So there's basically 6 things: grocery stores, laundromats, RV dump stations, propane refills, veterinarians, and hospitals and urgent care. So what we'll do is, it's just like when you do a Google search and you say show, you know, show grocery stores near me, right? It will show you in that area the grocery
All the
stores that you have
supermarkets you have
available.
nearby.
Right. So it just, these are things that most of us do anyway, but it's a step-by-step thing that we do when we're researching.
And everything in one place.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah. So that's how all of this works here.
I find it so very easy to see and having all the because basically you have gathered information that is scattered all over the place, and you put everything in one site.
Right. Well, you know, there's well, it says right there. So I should mention that it's 10,500 campsites, more than that, in 11 western states. So Colorado, New Mexico, what am I forgetting? Wyoming, West. Right.
Perfect.
And we can add on to that as a community later, but I wanted to seed it with something, otherwise what would I show? Right. So that's what I started with.
And again, you told me all these photos you took.
Yes. Yeah, they're either photos or they are stills from what I shot for my Tim Untethered YouTube channel. So like this was part of a video here.
Perfect.
Yeah. So that's oh, the only other thing I should probably share is that if you are on a campsite like this and you want to share it with somebody, right down here, see right down here? You can share it on Facebook, on Twitter, you can send an email. If you're on a phone, you can send a text message, Facebook Messenger message, or just copy the link.
So that is why you can gather with a group, because you can share that location with a group of people and they all come.
Yeah, there are Facebook boondocking forums, for example, and so all you'd have to do is just, you know, click this button and share that on the phone.
I will be here, hey, come join me, and everybody will find you very easily.
Yep.
Fantastic. How many thousands of dollars a year does it cost me to use this website?
Okay, so again, I told you I built this as a nomad, right? And so there's one thing that not all of us, but many of us have in common. I'm broke, right? So the last thing I want to do is create something. You're creating a project for a lot of people who are broke. I'm trying to solve a problem, right? And so the membership is zero. right? Now,
So it's a free site.
yeah.
It's a free tool.
Yes. Yes, sort of.
Yes, sort
and
of.
here's the sort of.
Yes.
When we start, so I don't want to gatekeep any information, right? I want to make sure that whatever information is here, everybody can see. But I reserve the right to gatekeep features. Meaning, like, if we get to the point and it's like you have a business and you want to post it, then I'm going to have an upper tier membership that I'll charge you for, whatever that is, so that you can post your, mobile, repair service or dog grooming service or whatever, right?
That makes total sense.
Yeah, we're not there yet. For the time being, though, I've gone out of pocket to build this, and of course I've spent 8 months building it. If there are others that feel the passion like I do, right, there is a link at the top that says you can help, right? And it will list the ways that you can help. So you can donate. It'll give you some bullet points on things like how you can bring attention to the site so that we can grow it as a community. How you can participate on the site. Because, I mean, quite frankly, you can give me all the money you want, but if only 9 people know about it, then it's not going to do anybody any good.
So share the name of this site with your friends so your friends can find amazing places where to stay.
If you find value in it. And I think that's the thing is I'm not entitled to anything, right? I'm trying to duplicate the way, as I said a few times already, the way that I research sites and hope that resonates with other people.
Absolutely.
And I hope that it does.
But let me tell you something one of my viewers once told me in a comment. They said, why don't you put your Venmo or whatever in your site? Because what if someone on this side of the camera wants to help you? Give us the opportunity to do that.
Sure.
So that is
so just click the link for you can help and take a look. Right now it's only credit cards, but I mean I could add PayPal and Venmo. I'll be honest with you though, I know I've worked hard on this. I'm not entitled to anything. I hope people will pitch in to help me cover hosting and software licenses and stuff because, like I said, I'm broke. I'm going out of pocket for this, but I feel so weird asking for money.
So let me tell you what I was thinking these days, because we had our conversation about the site some weeks ago, a couple of months ago, and I have been thinking a lot about that. On the one hand, I really admire your dedication to this because I know you have been working on this for almost a year. So I want to ask anybody here, say if you work currently at an office or wherever, how much do you make an hour? How much do you make in 9 months? And I am not trying to be intrusive here. It's just being aware of where we are in the planet.
Sure.
This guy has worked extremely hard to create this, and he has previous knowledge of computers and things, etc. You're a professional. You have invested hours of your life in this fantastic project. I am so excited about this. I know how much people will benefit from this.
I hope so.
So as he said, please go there, play with it, find your next camping site on this site, investigate, research everything, go click here and there and everywhere, see how it works. And in the end, if you found, as he said, if you found any value, and you cannot contribute anything, at least share it. So we spread the goodness of being able to use this.
Right. I'd say 2 things. One is I forgot about one thing I probably should have said in the very beginning, and that is when you're on that map and you're looking at all those pins and you click more, right, it opens up a new tab. Right. And I know that doesn't have anything to do with what you said, but I'm just like, I just ran into that with somebody and they're like, I keep going back and I'm not going back to the map. And it's because
so you have to look for the
because the way that I think and again, I can be convinced otherwise. If I'm looking at a map, I want to go to that site and that site and that site and that site. I don't want it to keep changing, right?
And for those who don't know much about computers, when you click on that, you have to look up there in where the tabs are, and you will see a new tab opens and a new tab opens and a new tab opens. So you still have the map. You click on that tab, you see the first place you chose, and then you click on the next one and you can see the next site you chose. So you can compare.
That was the idea. Right, that was the idea.
It's amazing. And you still have the map.
Right. But to your point, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to change topics wildly.
We are like that.
The one thing that I hope people get out of this is that, again, 3.1 million, and we can question how they got the number, but 3.1 million van lifers, 1 million square miles of public lands.
Yes.
We are only growing, right? And it seems silly to me that whether it's this site or something else, that we don't have a dedicated infrastructure to rely on each other to do commerce or bring each other together for hobbies. We're relying on YouTube channels and TikTok channels, and there's only so many freaking hours in the day, right? So what I'm hoping that we get out of this is people realizing, oh crap, we're huge, right? We're a sizable freaking city if we look at it that way. And maybe we should start thinking about how we can organize, and maybe at some point on down the road, maybe even having some lobbying power as nomads to go, hey, look, you know, we can't afford housing in this particular area. You won't let us buy land out in the middle of nowhere. Why? And try to
so many topics
affect some change. But we got to come together first. Yeah.
Amazing. Have you considered having inside of this one like a forum where people can
absolutely
discuss?
not.
No, you're not.
No, and you know why?
No, tell me.
Because I don't want to moderate that.
True.
Right.
True.
There are one of the things that I've noticed being out here is that, you know, the country, whether it's religion or whether it's politics, is so very divided.
Yes.
And we are often judged by the way that we live.
True.
Right. And so you bring those three dynamics together, and I feel like it's counterproductive. It would pit us against each other needlessly. Because one of the things I enjoy right now is I've got people that I know of varying different religions or political orientations, but the one thing that matters is what we do and not what we say, right?
Yes.
And it reminds me of the old Monopoly study where, you know, the person that has all the money, if you owe them money, they're going to make you pay. They've got no mercy. It's the poor people sitting at the Monopoly board that are going to go, I'll cover you, right? And so we see that dynamic, you know, when you don't care about material items, generosity seems much more natural.
Very wise
right?
answer.
So that's my long-winded response to absolutely no forum.
I love it. I love it. Because I always ask questions that pop up in my crazy brain, but then I get those super interesting answers. You summarized the thing fantastically, and thank you for that.
I will, you know, this is going way long, my apologies.
It's okay.
But I just wanted to say, you know, one thing I hope for is we have so many van life nomad advocates. Show you how to live, show you how to poop, show you how to get solar, show you where to camp, like this joker here. But what we don't really have are ambassadors, right? And what an ambassador would do is help provide a front line to those people who might not understand what it is we do, to say this is what, you know, this is how we live life. This is why we live life. And not necessarily to paint a rosy picture on it, but there are a lot of people out there who are just, they're all homeless. Well, you can cut that however you want to cut that, but I've got a warm bed, I've got a heater, refrigerator, freezer, running water. I mean, you tell a homeless person what I have, and they're going to go, he's not homeless. So
we're houseless.
Yeah, and so
just
I think,
and by choice.
So I hope that at some point we're going to see people create content for the benefit of those who are just curious. Right.
So good. So good. I love meeting nomads on the road because you never know the trove of amazing things you can find out there. And thank you. This has been an
I had a good time. Thank you.
amazing experience. Thank you all for sticking.
This is a very long video.
They can see it early in the morning, late at night. I have gotten some people saying my voice soothes them.
Okay. It was
I always say
ASMR?
I put them to sleep.
I put him to sleep, but for a totally different reason. I'm just I'm boring as hell.
Well, me too. So thank you very much for being here. This is Tim. This is my Nomad directory. Sorry.
Yep, my Nomad directory. Yep.
And there will be a link in the description of this video. And please let us know what you think about this.
Yeah.
You know how much I value your comments. So I visit his channel. Channel name again?
Tim Untethered.
There
Yes.
you go. Excellent videos. So thank you very much. Love you. Bye-bye.